Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. It's Monday morning. It's time to get things rocking. It's a new day. It's a new start. I hope you're excited to get this week going as much as I am. I want to start you out with the quote of the day. It's by Inky Johnson. I've listened to a lot of talks by Inky, and I'll tell you, what an amazing individual. The quote is, "Never complain about something you're not willing to change." How many of us talk about things that we'd like to change and we don't do something about it? This week, let's focus on being someone who makes changes if we're going to bring it up. If not, let's just drop it. I love that. I love that thought. Okay, so Monday, I like to usually talk about prosperity pillars or principles that can guide you throughout the week. I do this because I really want you to be able to, I want to be able to get you focused on a overall objective for the week while you're doing everything that you're doing. So I want to talk a bit about happiness and how it directly ties to your actions in your life every single day, because happiness is a common topic, right? I've been reading, I guess I should say rereading for maybe the fourth time, a great book by Gary Keller, the founder of Keller Williams. And he wrote a book called The One Thing. I highly recommend this book and podcast, by the way. In the book, he talks about focus and identifying your one thing. And I think it's something more and more of us can do, especially with this world where we've got so many priorities and things happening. But I know that he ties together everything, kind of like how in the book he talks about all of the priorities and things that you're going to be doing. He kind of ties it to the overall objective of your life. But too many times we spend our days chasing success without actually creating a life. And so I like that he ties that in the book, not just to productivity hacks and things you can do, but how to tie it to creating an ultimate life. And, the irony is, ironically, that the best life that you create is when you're pursuing priorities, success, action, and talents in the service of other people. And he mentions that. He mentions that, when you're doing something in a cause greater than yourself, it creates, happiness, fulfillment, and it makes a good distinction between the two, happiness and fulfillment. And he has a quote in the book, and it says, "Happiness happens on the way to fulfillment." Happiness happens on the way to fulfillment. Your life is defined by your purposeful path, not the outcomes. And I think that's an important topic for today, because I think we focus so much on the outcomes and not necessarily the path we're going on. And it's not just about enjoying the journey. It's about making sure you're on the right path. So he mentions in the book that Dr. Martin Seligman, I think I pronounced that right, Seligman, who is the past president of the American Psychological Association, has this theory. It's called the PERMA theory. PERMA is an acronym, PERMA, for the 5 factors or kind of building blocks of happiness and well-being. And he mentions this because I think it ties in really well to productivity. So these 5 things, I'll kind of review them with you real quick. The first one is when you experience positive emotions, you're more happy. Positive emotions, and understand that you can increase your gratitude for past experiences, present and future experiences. But when you experience positive emotions, even with your past experiences, that increases your happiness level. Now, we're not, as human beings, we're sometimes not programmed and prone to do that very often. But that is the first way to really increase your happiness, is positive emotions. The second is accomplishments. This would be your achievement, success, or even your mastery of items, things that will make you feel accomplished. The third thing is relationships. The relationships are important because connections to others is really a key to well-being. We've talked about that before, especially in this time of COVID and a lot of, quarantine and separation from individuals. Connection is a key. Relationships are a key to happiness. Number 4, meaning. Now, this is something bigger than yourself, right? This is having actions and things that contribute to something bigger than yourself. It's having meaning that will create more happiness. And the 5th one is engagement. Engagement. That is really operating exclusively and focused in an area. You might refer to this as experiencing that state of flow, where you're really engaged in a task. you can find some true happiness. So that's what makes up this PERMA theory: positive emotions, accomplishments, relationships, meaning, and engagement. But the reason I bring this up is that he believes that the engagement, and when I say he, I mean Dr. Martin Seligman, he believes that engagement and meaning are the surest ways and the best ways to find effective and lasting happiness. And this fits right in with what Gary Keller is doing by finding your one thing, but it also fits in really well with my partner Robert Stuberg's philosophy about finding and staying inside your unique talent. See, Robert has proven through thousands of clients that the greatest successes are going to come when you find the areas of performance that you're passionate and excellent at, but also the key is to use those unique talents in the service of others. Now, I'm not talking about, just quote-unquote service or nonprofit. I'm talking about serving others in whatever capacity fits the bigger meaning, something outside just you. And this certainly can mean in the marketplace, because when you serve the marketplace, you will be successful. But when you can operate inside your unique talent and you can serve the marketplace and serve others, this is what we mean when we say engagement and meaning are the surest roads to happiness. Now remember, and this is key, this is really important, happiness is only the byproduct of action. So you have to take action towards your goals and desires. You can't just look for, fulfillment or happiness inside the path. You have to take action and do it in the right path. So, and also keep in mind that your daily actions need to be part of a bigger meaning so that you'll experience your greatest levels of happiness. So the cool thing about that is when you're operating outside something bigger than yourself and you're engaged, it's a total win-win on the happiness scale. And so what I'd like to do is just plant those seeds with you, because this week I'd like you to do a couple of things. First, I'd like you to be aware of what activities you're focused on. Make sure that you're staying inside your unique talent. Spend the time on what it is that you're excellent and passionate about. And it's helpful to find somebody to kind of help you focus on this. And the reason I say that is because most of us are operating most of our lives in areas that we're either competent or excellent at. And that's not the secret to happiness and success. As Robert talks about with unique talent, you need to find your talents that you're excellent at, but you're also passionate about. And this is passion that you can extend to the marketplace. So this week, be aware and find out and make sure that you're working inside your unique talent. Second, make sure that you make the decision to focus on something greater than yourself. It's so easy to get caught up in our own things. I know that happiness and fulfillment is important to all of us, but you got to realize that this happens best when you take the focus off of yourself. So focus on your unique talents and abilities and passions, but do it in a way that it contributes and gives greater meaning than something other than yourself. And then finally, I want you to remember, and this is so important, that actions are the key for you this week. Take action. Say yes and figure it out later. Be actively pursuing your goals and dreams and your best life. Don't sit and plan or strategize or get caught up in fear or in a mode where you're putting things off. Don't put things off till tomorrow. Do it today. The key for you this week's going to be a big week for you. You've got to take action, and you've got to do it in the areas that you're competent, that you're excellent, and you're passionate about. If you do that, I think you'll see a lot of success this week. And that's something I'd like you to kind of spend some time, focus on, and see some great things. This week, I'm really excited to bring you some good topics. I appreciate you listening today, and I appreciate you being part of the Daily Mastermind community. Hit me up and let me know what I can do for you. Go over to the Instagram or Facebook page, or just go to thedailymastermind.com and send me a message. Let me know what I can do to bring more value to you in your life this week, and I look forward to talking with you more later this week. This is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.